Well, good morning, everyone, and good morning, Professor Hanushek. Thank you. Thank you all for coming for this seminar. And special thanks, obviously, to Professor Hanushek, who came all the way from Stanford to give this presentation and tomorrow's presentation as well in Fundación Aredes. I will make a very brief presentation of Professor Hanushek, although he doesn't need too much of it. I mean, he's perfectly well known in the education community. But as many of you know, Professor E.Hanushek is the Paul and Jane Hanna Senior Fellow at the Hoover Institution of Stanford University. He, you know it as well, a leader in the development of economic analysis of educational issues. His field of research and interest cover a huge variety of topics, including more or less chronological order, teaching quality, accountability, which was an important issue in No Child Left Behind the process, equity and efficiency in education funding, and more recently, his research is focused on the economics of international differences in educational achievement, which will be the topic of today's conference. This leads to the point of to what extent educational achievement contributes or doesn't contribute to economic growth, which is a matter of the highest interest always, but especially in moments like this. Professor Hanushek is chairman of the Executive Committee for the Texas Schools Project of the University of Texas at Dallas, a research associate of the NBER, the National Bureau of Economic Research, and a member of the CORED Task Force on K-12 Education. He has been quite recently appointed to the Equity and Excellence Commission of the U.S. Department of Education, and he has served as chair of the Board of Directors of the National Board for Education Sciences during 2008 to 2010. He's currently the area coordinator for economics of education of the CSI4 Research Network. He's a distinguished graduate for the United States Air Force Academy, and he completed his PhD at the MIT. Part of his government service includes being the Deputy Director of the Congressional Budget Office, the Senior Staff Economist at the Council of Economic Advisors, and Senior Economist at the Cost of Living Council. His experience serving governments, different governments, is very useful for us today. As all of you know, we are just in the process of passing a new education bill that will introduce in our country some of the tools usually employed in countries in different degrees of educational development, mainly central, external, and standardized test and autonomy of schools. Spain will very soon join the 24 OECD countries that have these exit exams, standardized, external, and essential, I mean, applied to all students. Professor Hanushek will present us today a study, one of whose conclusions is that, and I'm quoting, taking as a whole, the existing cross-country evidence suggests that the effect of external exit exams on student achievement may well be larger than a whole grade level equivalent, or between 20% and 40% of a standard deviation of their respective international test. This survey further provides evidence that the combination of accountability and autonomy of schools leads to an improvement of 50% of the standard deviation compared with an institutional setting in which no central exams and no school autonomy takes place. All in all, the most reputed international studies contend that accountability and school autonomy are two educational interventions that can provide much needed improvement on the quality of education in Spain. The impact of this institutional setting is much more important than other well-known and widespread popular demands, like increasing public education spending or reducing class size level, for which this E.Hanushek survey finds little evidence of significant impact on educational achievement. Accordingly, it is hard to find evidence of substantial positive effects of most resource inputs, in particular class sizes and expenditure levels. Among school inputs, there is somewhat more indication of positive effects of measures capturing teacher quality. I think that the topic could hardly be more interesting, that we have an extraordinary opportunity to listen to Professor E.Hanushek, and wish that we have a fruitful session this morning. And Professor E.Hanushek, thank you again for coming, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Do I need this microphone on?